Oh yeah, there it is. There's that bad horror movie. I've been waiting on it. There's that dog shit movie. Oh boy. Jesus, this was a bad one. Let's get into it. Cause oh boy, let's not waste too much time with this one. What's going on, Dungeon Dwellers? Welcome back to Dave's Dungeon. How y'all doing? Jesus, I was doing better before this. 4 films, and I had hope. I had hope. We were on a solid beat. The films were not bad. They were actually enjoyable. They were actually full of fun and having a good time. And then we get to this. Holy Jesus. This is the one problem I have with this type of horror. Really it comes down to every type of this type of film doesn't doesn't I mean unless you really have it down, you you just mess it up and it just feels boring and people are wondering what's going on. Sort of the same problem Censor had, but at least this film did stuff, and at least this film was trying. I want to say it tried. It tried. It tried real freaking hard. But my honest opinion on this film is don't waste your time because it's definitely doing that. Um, it's wasting a whole lot of your time at 2 hours and 18 minutes. Yeah, yeah, 2 hours, 2 hours, and I have to say, for something that was inspired by source material, that is way better than this and way scarier than this and promises something way different than this. Jesus, this was just disappointing. This was so disappointing. This had every reason to be. I mean, it could have been so much better than it was. And yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I'm really not gonna give the movie too much chance to defend itself because we're gonna jump right into this review. But oh my god, um, I guess we'll start the review. And for those of you who haven't caught any of my other reviews, I'll give you a basic rundown of how to do this. 5 criteria, and those are plot, special effects, tension, gore, and victim. Those are specific to horror movies. Most of the time, it's how I review a horror film. That doesn't go for every film. Most other films have other criteria I might tack on. But that being said, let's get into this horror film. The plot. Gee. I actually wrote it down on this piece of paper that this film seems like it's written by a computer, and I hope you guys know what I mean. But when I say that, I don't just mean that it was written on a computer. I think this film was actually written by an AI, because it is random. It seems like it is doing things for no particular reason, and it never develops it, and it never stays anywhere. Just like um the other film I had a problem with here recently, where it really didn't stay still. It kept moving, and developing. Malignant, the one I talked about first. One of the problems I had with it was that it just would not stop, and it kept moving. But this film literally, it literally just it do one thing and then it do another and then it do another and then it do another, and it was doing things for blatantly obvious reasons. And this is where I have to say something. If you're trying to scare me with a noise, understand I'm not going to think the noise is scary. I'm not in this for ooh. I'm not in this for static is scary. At no point in time Is it scary that I hear a flute or a bottle? You're not going to scare me with it. You're not going to creep me out. No matter how many times you make me listen to it, you're not going to do it. Hoot. I come up in your house. Hoot, hoot, motherfucker. You're not going to do it. In this movie, oh boy. I want to show you guys something. My note sheets are usually pretty respectful. Um, they make sense. Typically for how you'd think a note sheet would look. Let's see if we can get this. Yeah. Other than my handwriting looks like it's for serial killers. A note sheet looks typically like that. It has maybe some sentences. Maybe it's just a diagram of words and thoughts that I have planned out a little deeper in my head, like in the Candyman, which was up top, and the mortuary collection underneath, which was more sort of my thinking during the film, and I just kind of went on ahead and wrote it out while I kind of understood what was happening there. So that was why that one was a little bit more written out. But let's get to what the Empty Man's review sheet looks like. This film had me in stitches from the word go, because it seems like it was written by an algorithm, and that it was written like I don't know if anybody have even heard of this. Jesus, I've got my phone and it's making noise. Shut up. Nobody likes you. Anyways, it seemed, I don't know if anybody even remembers these, but they were right by numbers. It was sort of like a plotting thing back in the 90s. It was a piece of software that would help you write like what it would call the blockbuster or the next bestseller or whatever. It would legitimately help you write like A, B, now write the this scene, and now write that scene, and now write this, and now plug this in, and now plug that in. It literally felt like somebody took one of those 90s things and woke it up and plugged it into some modern AI from like DeepThink, and then was like, "Yeah, we'll use this to write a film because this is what my review sheet looks like for this film." Now, I don't know if this is going to actually focus. Yeah, I got so bored, I started chaptering everything that happened in this film in the margin of the film. Every stupid little lambasted thing. And let's see some of these. Monks, Tibet, China, day one. Penis. Okay, so and then there's we, because they were spinning some things. No touchy. Okay, touchy. House not home. Yeah, we actually got teapot tension, guys. They actually put a teapot on and had it go hee and whistle. Okay, we actually got teapot tension. Pan flute horror. Yeah, literally, guy was holding a pan flute. Day two. Spooky blur out of nowhere. Yeah, that was the CG problem. Um, Whisper scatting at 3 a.m. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, oh man, it's bad. Did you enjoy that? Yeah, don't go see this film then. If you didn't enjoy that, don't go see this film. Day three. Found him flute too. Yeah, because one guy goes missing, and then he goes missing with the flute, and then you end up finding him flute too. Surprise stabbing. The dude looks like Malfoy a little bit, so I wrote it down. Malfoy cries and girlfriend jumps. And then it is the intro of the film. Then you see the credit marker of the film. This is just bad, guys. Don't go see this. This is just bad. That was just the intro sequence. That took like 20 minutes. like almost a half hour. I don't get that 2 hours and 18 minutes back. 16. 2 hours and 16 minutes. God dang it. Yeah. The plot's a 4 because it's bad. It's bad. um, this is garbage. And I'm not even going to have a spoiler section for this. I don't plan on talking about this for any longer than I have to. This is just garbage. The special effects are garbage. They're bad. They're bad. Like I said, spooky blur out of nowhere. The tension is probably the best part of this film. Because it's an atmospheric film. It definitely, it's definitely relying on the sort of what it's put in it to build a tension that actually freaks you out and makes you feel uncomfortable. The subject matter, existentialism is scary. Is it though? Spiritualism is scary. Is it though? Rationalization and thought is scary. Is it though? This movie asks you to be real dumb because it's real dumb. I don't mean that literal. I don't mean that figuratively. I don't mean that in some cute, snide, cruel, nasty way. I mean that literally. The movie asks you to be dumb with it. It's trying to be dumb and it wants you to be dumb with it. I'm not I'm not bullshitting you. I'm being serious here. Look me. Look right here. It is asking you to be dumb. It is taking the root elementary philosophy of a bunch of different schools and seeing what happens when they get into a car crash. This was written by a program that got a hold of a bunch of horror films and a Psych 101 book. It's bad. Gore gets a 2. This movie this movie's gore is non-existent and for good reason because this movie should be non-existent. It's too long by half. Given what you wanted to even develop, it's too long by half. And then even once you cut it in half, there are parts of it I would still cut. The victim killer here is. I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 because it had every opportunity to actually develop this into something, into an actual like. I care about how this works, and I care about the relationship between that and this is coming, and that's working. Yeah, I could have cared about all that crap, but you literally did nothing with it. You did the worst thing you can do is diffuse it to the point where who cares after that? Like after that, it's not anything I can worry about. So what did you do to the horror? You completely just shoved it down the drain. You just diffused it in front of me. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Cool. Moving on. It really doesn't bother my day. So the overall score on this is a 19 out of 50. So that's a big old F minus. F, 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 F. You made like a 38 percentile on this. Is garbage. So for the spoiler section, I'm just gonna read off a few more of these that I actually think are funny. Because I literally wrote after intro, fuck this. And I think we're deep enough in the video. I'll just let it rip. You get domestic tension, and then suddenly birds. Suddenly birds. What? Um, and then what's up with the whispering? Wedding ring. No view of horror here. Slow. Urban legends killing people. Dangerous myths. Sounds are scary. And I literally started tallying these. There's about 5 times in the movie it tries to say Sounds are scary. Um, Empty masking and demon summoning was a big part of this film. Because the empty man is a nobody that people are trying to focus on and bring into reality. And if you know anything about paranormal beliefs, study, and superstition, a lot of those people believe that when you put something out in the universe as if it exists, say a person or entity, if you put it out there and you're making it up and you're trying to get people to believe it, you offer it as a mask to whatever is out there. Yes, that's right. You make shit up, you get shit that comes through. And it pretends to be whatever you made up. Yeah, that's the general belief. But this film doesn't do shit with that. It brings it in, it drops it off, it goes to the pool. Because immediately after that, you get Spooky Flute, and we get this not once, not twice, three, four, five different times in the film. And I mean that literally. I started telling them, yeah, there's 5 different times they use a Spooky Flute. Uses dead animals just randomly, like stuff just randomly shows up and it's eviscerated, and there's no real explanation of that. Um, yeah, there's a point in time where they're trying to show you something happening supernaturally, mentally, and then realistically. And I literally wrote down that looked dumb both ways. Because it legitimately did. They tried to show you like a shock teaser stinger thing of like, well, this just happened and the empty man was here, and that's what I thought of it. It literally was that dumb. Um, I literally wrote down, finally, someone's googling it because it happened in the film. Literally, somebody went to Google and Googled it. I'm not joking. They Googled it. Um, Scary spiritualism. Yeah, they did. They pull off the cardinal sin. When going to a cult meeting, don't drink the coffee. If they offer complimentary stuff, don't eat it, don't drink it. I mean, if you legitimately go to something that people think is a cult, don't, don't, don't eat the amenities. Okay, don't do it. Don't believe the gibberish. And I mean that. That was literally the scene I'm describing when I wrote that down was gibberish. It was as much, if anybody's familiar with the book House of Leaves, it was gibberish. It was just utter gibberish from an academic philosophical level. From, I mean, base philosophy 101, not from any kind of deep thinking about thinking. Just pulling up random crap you could say about thinking. Um Yeah, at one point I started wondering what happened to the monster in this film because it was sadly swallowed by an existentialism a scary movie. Um Spooky bottle no sell. Oh yeah. That was funny. Oh man, all the bottle blowing. Um yeah, we literally get references from the 50s. Um the best line of the movie, I literally wrote it down. They don't have 5-year plans. They have 500-year plans. Really? Like it's a condominium thing? Like they're developers? Like they got plans? Um, there's a point in time, Jesus. I can't believe that even happened. There was a point in time where the piano guy, and yeah, before you before you go, wait, wait, what? The piano man. There's not actually a guy playing a piano. There's just the guy on the soundtrack who is playing the piano. Loses his shit with this movie and just plugs in the Doom track. But he's still playing piano. He just takes the whatever arrangement you would get if it was a Doom song and plays it on piano. It is if you're watching it, just wait for that moment. You'll know exactly what it is. Um we literally get a behind you moment that I have to say is actually good and where this movie actually gains a few points. Because it was actually decent, but the movie ultimately, like I said, it just might as well not have even been there, given how where this movie went and what it was trying to do with that creature and whatever else. It was just, well, I literally there's literally a moment where the main character in the film goes, "What the fuck was that?" And I literally looked at him and said, "Well said, sir," because he was commenting on the scenario he just went through, and he was like, he said it twice. He's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm asking that of this film too." Um, yeah. There was also a moment when it's like, I just write nope, just nope, nope. I don't want anything, and that was right before we got to day 3 again, because and this is where I say the movie's very formulaic. It makes you go through 3 days, then it hits the intro, right? Well, then it goes into this whole like, okay, then we're going back into day 1, day 2, day 3. Because the whole premise from the poster is the first night you hear him, the second night you see him, and the third night he finds you. You know, so you get to day 3 and existentialism done dumb. Here I am trying to insult somebody and I can't talk. Existentialism dumb. Existentialism is dumb. It's basically what the plot of this movie is. Existentialism is the key to unlocking and harnessing phenomenal cosmic power, but only if you're stupid. Only if you're willing to give in to gibberish. This movie literally goes to a point to bring in a crazy person, and then reference the famous crazy hospital Bellevue. Uh, I'm just over it, and then you get to the actual like, well, finale climax dubstep eldritch horror monster, and I'm sorry, it just wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it, guys. So, I mean, watch it if you like bad horror films. I'll say that much. If you've watched it to this far, watch it if you like bad horror films. If you're willing to watch a review about it, you might as well watch it. But dear God, it's horrible. If you really have no taste for wasting time, or you just have better things to do, I mean, this is a good place to plug in Rocky Horror or whatever else. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this review. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you would, you want to comment and let me know how you enjoyed it, please do. Drop it down below. Ring the bell. Ring the bell for more news and more updates on when I drop new videos. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this review. So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked it. I hope if you watch this film back that you got something out of it. But knowing what it's based off of, knowing that Slender Man and this are trying to compete, this is such a bad movie, and it's not doing itself any favors. So thank you for joining me on this adventure, Dungeon Dwellers. I thank you so much for being here, and your initial support for this series has been amazing. I'm going to try and load 2 of these a day to try and catch up. So forgive me if I'm a little bit behind. I really am only one movie behind. I think I missed a day because I had like a migraine, and then I got behind in the recording schedule because I was taking extra time to write these reviews. So I'm gonna try and speed up and catch back up here real quick. So be on the lookout for both videos. If you catch one, make sure you catch the other. Thank you guys. You're so awesome. I'll see you on our next adventures, Dungeon Dwellers. Till then, sleep tight.